Design, production, and materials dance intertwined.
It's a new approach for marketeers. It's a new approach for us to understand.
Why is this little astronaut so happy?
We are the storytellers.
That's where we come in.
You're getting the hang of this.
I want to start the evening with a very dull subject. Is there a need to meet? Is it the way we want to meet? There are two questions. One of them is, do we need to meet? Yes, of course we need to meet. We want to share information. We want to share knowledge, etc. But is this the way we want to meet? In our office? No, it isn't. Well, you can do it another way. We can do it online. We do it all the time. We talk online, we chat online, and we post online. In the future, we will do that virtual. But this is not the real thing. The real thing is do it live. The real thing is about sharing. The real thing is about experience the same thing at the same moment, at the same place. Why? Because we're people. We want to connect. We want to embrace each other's ideas, and we want to be together. We want to create history. We want to create memories. This is important, not only for us as being, but also for us doing business, for instance. We can do business all over the place. We can do business with anyone, but we would rather do business and closing deals with people that grab us, people that know us, the story behind our products. The deal is lasting longer, and the relationship can be built on that. When we stop listening, I read it here. When we stop listening and telling stories, we will stop being human. Yeah, well, there are other things that makes us stop being human, but this is one of them. And I want to add to that is how we can get people to listen to us. How can we intrigue them? How can we trigger them? And this are the three things I'm working with. The trigger, the tickle, and the trust. The trigger and the tickle, that's my part. I'm a designer. I build booths all over the world, and I have to maintain the booth is still an icebreaker. And the trust is up to my clients in the booth. How do they deal with it? These are a few samples, a few ideas I did in the past, so you can see what I mean by the tickle and the trigger. BlackBerry had two stories, fastest browser at that time, and the near-field communication. That was a rather new feature. I wanted to tell about that. I got the Newton Cradle. Those are the balls from Newton Cradle. This is the play. And people really understood that was about near-field communication. And the other thing are the blue lines, the speed of the booth. It speaks for itself. The other example I wanted to show you is about Tata Steel. Tata Steel also make tracks. And this is for the Enertrons, and they wanted to have a booth. They're selling tracks, and they want to meet people there. They want to, of course, start a relationship with dealers. And where do you meet each other? At the train station. That's the start of a new journey together. So when you have this, and you have this ambience of a train station, it's obvious what you're selling, and it's obvious where you want to go with that. So this is, I work a lot with metaphors, and I do it because a booth in one split second has to tell you what the story is about. I have no timeline. Heijmans also wanted to have another look at our world, at our neighborhood. Housing is a big problem in cities, and they wanted to rethink our natural habitat, our area. How do we do that? I came up with this. This is from, it's called the Dalton House. It's in London. It's a big mirror. You can see your own house from a different angle. I made this into a booth. I turned this into a booth. And the floor now is a giant screen. And on the screen, we showed products of Heijmans, and it was reflected in the mirror. So you really floated over your own city. And you were really seeing your own neighborhood in a totally different angle. These are some shots, a peek behind the screens. This is a testing of which floor we're going to use. And this is also a test, does it work with a mirror, a giant LED screen with a mirror in 45-degree angle on it? It did work. This was hanging in the Rai in Amsterdam, and it really was a showstopper when it was finished. And the reason why I show you these pictures behind the screen, because I realized that it is for Heijmans as a client a big risk saying, okay, I like the story you're telling, I like the idea of seeing your area from another perspective in this way, but it's also a risk. Does it work? Does it work at the exhibition? Well, it did. It was a real showstopper. People took selfies with themselves floating around their own city, and it was a very nice way to photograph yourself when you're closing a deal live. An exhibition is about live communication, and you have to maintain a few things to make this work. Of course, you have your staff. It has to be there for you. It does not have to gaze at their phones. They must check the aisles if the customers are there. And make one story straight, make one story simple. And always question yourself, why am I doing this? Why will somebody sell or buy my product? And your team must be ready to go for you. Those are the two things that makes an exhibition work. And always when you start an exhibit and when you want to go to an exhibition, start with us, the creative. We can help you in the early stage of the why and the who questions. So that was it.